For those of our viewers who don't know much about you, what is the best place that they can go and look and find more information about you, maybe see your trailers? I mean, I'm definitely going to post one of them right under our interview,
Yeah.
but what's the best source for you? Your website or...
It's my website. Yeah, it's eyeborgproject.com. And that's EYEBORG. Eyeborgproject.com.
Great.
That's where I do all the stuff. Now, in the immediate future, besides pulling apart barns to make tables, we are making an Eyeborg app. And the Eyeborg app will do two things. One, it will simulcast my eye so that you can see the point of view of my eye on here. So you go in the Eyeborg app and you see what I'm seeing. And then with that, I'm using Ustream as a partner. I don't know if you know Ustream.
Yeah, I've heard them.
So for example, I could switch eye patch. So right now I'm blind.
Mm-hmm.
Now Ustream has a social stream that can connect with me, so people could Twitter or go through Facebook or whatever to tell me how to get around in the world.
I see.
And it compels them to get involved with me. That would be one application of that. The second part of the Eyeborg app is taking data from people I call surveillance nerds. So for example, in Toronto here, we had the G20 not long ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they put up a lot of new cameras everywhere. So the surveillance nerds go to Google Maps and they tell everybody and work together to say, here's the locations of all the new surveillance cameras. Now, what I'm hoping to do is harness people like that to give this second part of the Eyeborg app, the George Orwell aspect of the Eyeborg app.
Beware of Big Brother kind of thing.
Data, but also beware of Little Brother. So, in essence, what it'll do is it'll take Google Map data, and that'll be an augmented reality app. So, much like a Tim Hortons finder, when you turn on your iPhone, like where's the closest Tim Hortons? A small Tim Hortons means there's one far away. That one, a big Tim Hortons logo means there's one close here. Take me there. So engage the surveillance community and also other communities to say, here are points of surveillance interests. So they might be surveillance cameras, or it might be that subway where there's a pervert who keeps doing upskirt videos. Or it might be the garage where the Google car sits. Or it might be Facebook headquarters. Or whatever. And instead of like a Tim Hortons logo, in the case of the Tim Hortons finder, my logo will be an animated George Orwell head, but who looks like a cyborg. And when you go, let's say you find, okay, it's G20. Oh, there's one of the surveillance cameras there. There'll be a floating George Orwell head that's part cyborg. You hit the George Orwell head, and you get more information about that particular point of interest. And the data is provided by the surveillance nerds.
Very interesting project.
Yeah.
So let me bring our interview to a close with this question. If you have one message to give to our viewers and listeners today, what would you like it to be?
It's almost a cliche. You know, I can't tell you how many people told me that I shouldn't make a camera eye, that I couldn't make a camera eye. It's really, it's been a lot of fun working with engineers. I'm not an engineer, but Time Magazine made us one of the best inventions of the year last year. And so there's really, if you really want to do stuff, you know, even if it seems like science fiction, and I know a lot of guys watching this are probably big nerds who want to do weird, fun things. It's about inspiring people, having fun, and just going for it. Like just doing it. Like Nike says, it sounds really cliche and trite, but there is something to just going after what you want, and it can actually happen.
That's great. So let me finish our interview by saying thank you very much. Would you like to add anything else?
Resistance is futile. I don't know.
Are you serious, or that's the humor coming up
No,
again?
it's not futile. No, resistance is fine. Go ahead, resist. See what happens.
Excellent. Yeah, I have noticed this very nice tendency in all your videos to have like a lot of humor and a little bit of self-irony, and I really appreciate that. So I think it gives a very nice, unique, and even humanistic touch to your Eyeborg videos.
Well, this is the question. If Skynet does come, I hope it has a sense of humor. And maybe that's our strongest weapon as human beings.
Exactly. Maybe that's if intelligence is not what differentiates us, then maybe sense of humor will remain to be.
Yeah.
So that's how we would know.
You can just imagine, like, in the future trying to, like, have a nice conversation with a hyper-intelligent computer, and you make a joke and it, just doesn't get it. And it's like, well, forget it. I'll see you later.
Well, Ray Kurzweil claims that he calls that emotional intelligence and the ability to create music and to have sense of humor, to tell a joke. And he says that's our most advanced intelligence, actually, higher than, say, play chess and do math and solve math quizzes and stuff like that. So, well, we live in interesting times, and let's see what happens. But I do hope, as you said, that we all have a sense of humor.
Oh, I know. And you know what? I'm going to end up with kids that are like going to get an eye taken out and replaced. And I'll go, you're not allowed to do that. And they'll go, but Dad, you did it. And I'll go, it was different when I did it. This is what's going to happen.
Do you think they would listen?
No, of course not. That's as old as history. Children don't listen to their parents. That's like,
Yeah, and I personally even see the option of people like Kevin Warwick, for example, replacing everything. Right?
Yeah.
Not one eye because they lost it in an accident, but simply because they chose to upgrade their vision.
Right.
I see pianists, concert pianists getting cochlear implants just so that they can have a wider spectrum, musical spectrum that they can hear and cover and perform better. Maybe
I mean,
getting
that idea's
6
out
fingers
there.
on their hands, as some science fiction show, like in Gattaca, the performing pianist had 6 fingers.
Well, we're just at that point now where it's beginning to be, especially for people who've lost part of their body, they're on the forefront of replacing stuff. But in some cases, the idea is that, well, maybe we can augment ourselves instead of just replacing things like substandard approximations. So that idea is starting to bubble for sure.
Absolutely. So there's many great topics for a potential second interview later on, where we can catch up and see how far along you have gone with either building tables or building your Eyeborg iPhone app.
Right. Exactly.
So, once again, Rob, thank you very much for being a guest on Singularity One-on-One, and good luck with all your projects.
Thank you, sir.